Hi everyone, Mark here. I'm the founder at the Arts and Culture Network, and I'm joined by Harriet Stubbs today. Harriet is one of our full members. I've managed to pin her down between airplane trips. She spends far too much time on aeroplanes because she's in demand all over the world. And I love the four places that she spends most of her time, the fourth being the most exciting. So New York, London, Los Angeles, and the Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman. Yeah, that's the case, isn't it, Harriet?
That is the case.
And where are you today? Of all of those places, where are you today?
I am in New York.
Excellent. Good. So that's fantastic. Where this video appears, there'll probably be other ones. And Harriet and I have just had a conversation about the festival that she's producing and directing.
I'm artistic director and CEO. Yeah, it's called Sonic Blue, Cayman International Festival.
And that's January 24.
Yes.
I can't think of many other places I'd rather be in January.
It's a good deal. It's a really good deal for all of us going in. It's wonderful.
Please take a look, because it sounds as though it's a record-breaking event. 100 meters offshore or 110 miles?
100 feet offshore.
Right.
And it's an engineering feat, really. The stage is being created by the engineers that created the propulsion for the submarine that went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench for the first time in history and brought the divers back up again. They're called American Muscle, and in collaboration with Technodyne have designed this incredible stage. So we're so excited.
Did you say Teledyne? Was it
Technodyne? Technodyne and American Muscle. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, have a look. And that's so. Does this stage float?
It does float, but it's also stabilized. But as a dive master and as a zero waste and very ecologically promoting festival, it does not interfere with turtle nesting season or create any pollution to the ocean whatsoever, or any damage to the bed of the sea. That was very important to us. And it's been approved.
There's a lovely saying, isn't there? Take only pictures, leave only bubbles, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's lovely. I've never heard that before. Yeah.
I saw that on the,
that's so sweet.
When I've dived in the past, someone had a poster of that on there. Take only photos, leave only bubbles, and I thought that was great. So, excellent. So the main event for this little interview is your arts and culture hot top 10. So I'm going to be asking you for your favorite in 10 or so arts and culture categories. It's always a revelation. I did not expect the head of Chinese art at Sotheby's to cite hip hop as her favorite genre of music. And bless her, it was fantastic. So, and if you have a reason for choosing a favorite, do share it. If you can't think of a favorite, or you can't pin it down to one, you can always resort to the last one that you either read, saw, or experienced. So that's fun. There are clearly no right or wrong answers. But I should also add, for the benefit of our viewers, that you've had absolutely no warning of this. So this is...
We're not prepared.
And given what I now know about you, I think I might add a few at the end, which would be great.
Sure.
Okay, so the first question I'd like to ask you is if you have a favorite building, and if so, why?
I love so many buildings. I mean, New York, I'm here, so I'm thinking of New York, and the architecture here is so exciting. I love the Chrysler building. It's beautiful. It's so New York and original, and there's only one of it for a reason. Very, very special.
Love that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. And this could be a number of things. Do you have a favorite book?
I can't possibly pin it down to one, because I just love reading so much. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Or are you reading a book at the moment?
Yes, I'm currently reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I came to it through her mother, Mary Wollstonecraft, because I was reading The Vindication of the Rights of Women as part of my William Blake, Invisible Women in Blakey mythology. And then I sort of found Mary through that, and that ended in Frankenstein. So yeah, I'm about 2/3 of the way through Frankenstein. It's amazing, really, how young she was when she wrote it too. It's crazy.
That's great.
She was only 19.
She was 19.
Yeah, at Lord Byron's house and over the summer. Crazy.
Wow. Brilliant. That's a lovely choice. I love that. Now, do you have a favorite dancer or dance group?
I love dance. It's one of my favorite things to go and watch, especially as I'm in music all day. Dance feels like a break in a wonderful way. I spend a lot of time going to see New York City Ballet. A lot of my friends dance it, so I'm most familiar with their repertoire because I go and see my friends dance all the time, and they often join me on tour too. So
that's great. Love that. And now this one is complicated for you, because I'd like you to, because you've got 4 that you can't stay in, I'd like you to assume that you can no longer reside in any of the places you currently reside or were born or have lived. So you can't be in the UK, you can't be in the US, you can't be in the Caymans.
Yeah,
but you have to find a home somewhere else based on its culture. Where would you choose to live if you had to live somewhere other than those 3?
The Arctic Circle, probably the Norwegian part.
Okay.
Up in like Svalbard.
Svalbard, yes. Or is there a Lofoten Islands somewhere up there as well? I think I've been listening to Calm, which is an app that helps you get to sleep. Not that I need much help, but they've got these sleep stories on the app, and one of them is a tour through the Lofoten Islands up there somewhere. And there are countless sleep stories on this app, and they're all about 20-25 minutes long, and I've still yet to hear the end of one of them.
Wow, very effective app.
Oh, it's very effective. There we go. I'll put the link to that in here, and they might pay us for this interview. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Great. Love that. Okay, so the next question is, as a participant or a spectator, do you have a favorite sport?
Yeah, diving.
I kind of saw that coming. So where's your favorite place to dive?
Well, that was actually why I picked the Arctic Circle, because if New York and London and LA and Cayman were gone, then it would be a big gear shift. So I'd probably just end up free diving with Orca forever instead. So that is probably my favorite place to dive, because they're there and I go out there and see them sometimes.
Brilliant. Love that. Now this one always catches people out. You're only allowed to listen to one musical genre for the rest of your life.
I love many genres of music, but I couldn't live without classical music. I mean, I would hate to have to lose all the others, but I would, there's no way I could live without classical music.
Okay. Love that. And do you have a favorite visual artist?
I love Kandinsky. I really love Kandinsky. I've got I love, one of my favorite days out is going up to the Guggenheim and just hanging out with the Kandinsky section, even though I've seen it so many times before. There's just something about it, and the way it is around the time of kind of Stravinsky and those relationships. I love that time in history.
When we last met, did I tell you about the Marcus Misner story and Felicia Blumenthal?
No.
Oh, I'll do it quickly. So I used to work for Annette Celine, who's a soprano who used to live next door to the American Embassy in London. And in her front room are 2 Chagalls and 2 full-size grand pianos.
Oh,
two
wow.
full-size Steinways, not one Steinway, two, you know. And she asked me to digitize her mother's recordings from the 50s, and her mother was a very good concert pianist, Felicia Blumenthal, and her husband, Felicia Blumenthal's husband, was Marcus Misner, who was a very astute art collector.
Right.
He died in 94, but in his early career, he used to bail out artists in return for their work when they couldn't pay their rent. And one of them was Kandinsky.
Oh my God, wow.
And another one was Marc Chagall. And
Wow.
another one was Mondrian. And another one was Klimt. And when he died and donated his collection to the Tel Aviv Museum of Modern Art, they had to build a new wing to house all the paintings. Unbelievable. And the funny story about Chagall was that he had forgotten to sign one of them. So years later, very shortly before Marc Chagall died in Saint-Paul-de-Vence, they traveled down there to ask him to sign the painting. And Marc Chagall was so grateful for his help in his early career, and so delighted that they had taken the trip down to Saint-Paul-de-Vence. He gave them another two paintings.
Wow.
And I think Chagall is still the 14th most valuable artist in the world. So heaven knows. Anyway, so
Gosh.
no, sorry, that was an aside. But yes, Kandinsky, love it. Now, do you have a favorite play or musical?
Hamlet. Hamlet.
Play.
Yeah.
Any specific production or any actor in the lead role?
I loved Benedict Cumberbatch's Hamlet, but I've never seen a Hamlet I haven't loved, and I've seen quite a few, but I remember Benedict Cumberbatch's particularly, because the comical element of it was so striking, because it's, you know, such a sort of tragic situation, but somehow in this very genuine and beautiful way, really brought that side out of Hamlet too. Brilliant,
love it. Excellent. And this will be hard. Do you have a favorite film?
You know what? I should have seen this one coming. Someone asked me this the other day, and I again didn't have an answer. I love, just thinking of something I've rewatched recently. I loved Patti Smith's A Dream of Life. I thought it was really beautiful.
Nice. And the last film you saw in a cinema?
Actually, it was Tar, the Kate Blanchett film. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that the other night on Apple TV or wherever it is. Yeah, that was fascinating. Like you, I've spent hours, if not days, under the baton of conductors, and and it was fascinating. Yeah, I love the fact that the aficionados have been collating all of the musical mistakes that the film allowed to stay in. Apparently there were some.
Have they really? I haven't. I heard all the sort of arguments around having a female villain, which I enjoyed her. I thought she was fabulous. But in terms of the inaccuracies, I haven't really dived into those discussions. But it'd be interesting to know what they were.
Yeah, it's unnecessarily pedantic, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And finally, for this one, who was excluding me, who was the last person to make you laugh?
Sasha, actually, who's sitting in the room with me right now. Sasha Corbett, very talented artist himself and director, and you'll meet him.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him. Hello, Sasha.
Hi.
Hi. Come and give us a wave.
Sasha, come over, come and say hello.
You know,
this is Mark.
Hi, Mark. It's so easy to make her laugh because you're like
you just say something, and she just like bursts into laughter.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
Have a good
excellent.
interview. Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. That was lovely. Thank you. Oh, well done, Harriet. That's brilliant. Everybody knows now a little bit more about you from those answers, which is lovely because, you know, I don't like doing standard interviews. I think it's just fun to do something a bit like that. So thank you once again.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Wherever this appears, there'll be good to meet Sasha as well. Wherever this appears, there'll be links, and we can update it with links to all the exciting things that you're doing. But thank you so much for sparing time in what must be a very busy schedule to meet me and say hello to the other members.
Got a pleasure. Thank you for having me.